Have you ever really stopped to think about what's going on inside your body while you sleep? It's kind of a mystery, isn't it? You go to bed, and then you wake up, either feeling amazing or, not so much. Well, today we're going to peek behind that curtain. We're going to dive into how the things you do in the evening are basically setting the stage for how you feel the next morning. So let's start with a question I think we've all asked ourselves. You did everything right, you got your 8 hours, you went to bed on time, but you still wake up feeling just blah, groggy, and maybe a little foggy. What is going on? It's super frustrating, and honestly, it can feel totally random.
But what if it's not random at all? What if the key to unlocking all that morning energy is actually hidden in the choices we make just before our head hits the pillow? That's the big idea we're digging into today.
Okay, to figure this out, let's put on our detective hats. The first major clue we need to look at is your morning glucose level. And this isn't just for people tracking their blood sugar for medical reasons. This is about a fundamental process that affects how every single one of us feels.
Check this out. This quote from our source material really highlights a hidden part of our biology. A lot of us are starting the day on this metabolic roller coaster without even knowing it, and the ride actually begins while we're sound asleep.
The main character in our little mystery is something called the dawn phenomenon. Now, it sounds really dramatic, but it's a completely normal, natural process. Your body's just trying to help. It gives you a little surge of energy to wake up and get your day started. The problem is, sometimes our evening habits can turn this natural process into something a little too dramatic. To really get what's happening, let's meet the key players on your body's night shift. You can think of them like a highly coordinated crew, working all night to get you ready for the morning. So, first up, we've got cortisol, also known as the wake-up hormone. Then there's insulin, who's like the glucose gatekeeper, managing all the sugar in your system. And overseeing the whole operation is your circadian rhythm, the master internal clock that tells everyone what to do and when. When this crew is in sync, everything runs beautifully. So here's how it plays out every single night. As the sun starts to think about rising, your internal clock gives cortisol the nudge that tells your liver, hey, release some of that stored up energy. So it releases glucose into your bloodstream. Your blood sugar goes up naturally to get you going. The key thing here is that our habits can throw this whole delicate dance way off balance, making that morning surge much bigger than it needs to be, and that can lead to that groggy, off feeling. But here is the fantastic news. We're not just along for the ride. We actually have 4 really powerful levers we can pull every single evening to help our night shift crew do their jobs right and keep things in balance. Let's get into the first one. Okay, lever number 1 is probably the most obvious one, but it might just be the most powerful: your evening meal. What you eat, and just as importantly, when you eat, really sets the entire metabolic stage for the rest of the night. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you have a balanced, earlier dinner. It's got protein, fiber. This gives your body plenty of time to process things and support stable glucose levels all night long. But on the right, a late, heavy, carb-focused meal, that's like setting off a fire alarm right before closing time. It can cause these big glucose spikes that your body is scrambling to deal with when it should be resting. All right, lever number 2 is something we all know is important, but we don't always connect it directly to our metabolism: getting quality sleep. And I'm not just talking about the number of hours, it's really about the quality of that rest. So why does sleep matter so much for this? Well, just look at how it directly impacts our little overnight crew. Even a single night of bad sleep can mess with cortisol. Good sleep, on the other hand, helps our glucose gatekeeper, insulin, do its job way more effectively. And of course, a consistent schedule keeps that internal clock ticking along perfectly. See, it's all connected. Lever number 3 is all about managing evening stress. Remember cortisol, our wake-up hormone? Well, it's also our main stress hormone. And here's the problem. High stress in the evening is a huge issue because cortisol is supposed to be at its lowest right before bed. When it's high, it's basically telling your body to stay on high alert when it should be powering down for the night. This chart really says it all. You can see how high evening stress can lead to higher cortisol levels throughout the night and into the morning, making that dawn phenomenon even more intense. This is why finding a way to wind down, whether it's reading a book, some gentle stretching, whatever works for you, isn't just a nice little luxury. It's a seriously powerful tool for your metabolism. And our final lever is a gentle one: a little bit of light activity after dinner. Now, I'm not talking about a high-intensity workout here. We're talking about a simple 10 or 15-minute walk.
That little bit of movement can help your muscles use up some of the glucose from your meal, which helps keep your levels more stable overnight. So now that we know the 4 levers we can pull, let's flip it around and look at a few really common traps, those little habits that might be secretly undoing all your good work. Do any of these look familiar? That late-night sugary snack sends glucose soaring right when your system needs to be quiet. All that screen time. The blue light can mess with your internal clock. Not drinking enough water can actually increase stress hormones. And yeah, even a really intense workout too close to bed can raise cortisol and make it harder to get that deep, restorative sleep you need. Okay, we have covered a lot. The mystery, the science behind it, and the solutions. So let's bring it all home. How do we actually become a master of our own midnight metabolism? Here it is, your toolkit. It really just boils down to these 4 things. Balance that last meal, make good sleep a total non-negotiable. Find a way to wind down and manage stress, and maybe take a nice, gentle walk after dinner. Each one of these actions helps your body do what it's naturally supposed to do overnight. Look, you don't have to tackle all of this at once. Even small, tiny changes can make a huge difference. So looking at this toolkit, what's the one thing, just one lever, that you could pull tonight to start taking back your morning energy? And just a quick reminder, of course, this is all for educational purposes. If you have any specific health concerns, it's always best to talk to a qualified healthcare professional. Thanks so much for tuning in.